the Commissioner for Justice. I don't want to say former, because I believe he's just on a very long vacation and he will be back to finish what he has started. And when he was talking, even though he has mentioned one reason why I think he is chairing this occasion, we have 1,001 reasons why I believe he is here. He has mentioned one, and his dedication, his style of leadership and commitment to issues of sexual, gender-based violence is second to none. And just like it was said that he was one of the persons that has laid the foundation for, Gombe State University, he is equally the Commissioner and Attorney General that has given us a primary legislation in Gombe State, for the sexual and gender-based violence, and that is the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. So I want to commend you for that and to let you know that we really appreciate you. It is also a day to celebrate you because of your commitment towards us. It is not normal to see somebody of his age in support of issues like this in the northern part of the country. So despite the fact that he has children, I think his commitment towards seeing the right things are done is also appreciated. Thank you so much, sir. I remember in 2021, there was a survey that was carried, I won't say specifically at the GSU, but it was even published at the Journal of Medical Sciences. And it says that from the forms that were given, it says 46% of the respondents had history of sexual violence, 35% were reported being raped, and it was in a school setting, higher institution in Gombe State. Lecturers were responsible for 22.6% of the rape, while male students and male non-academic staff were responsible for 18.3% of the rape cases, respectively, in the higher institutions in Gombe State. So, for Gombe State coming up with such a policy is timely, and I want to commend you for making sure that our learning institutions are safe and our students study with dignity. Once more, I congratulate you. And like I said earlier, it was the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, I don't want to say former, like I said earlier, that was instrumental to the passage of our Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. The human rights have started establishing the fact that the harassment is not just for the male, but for the female, gender. Also, the male gender are also harassed. And talking about that piece of legislation, it has helped, the way the sexual and gender-based violence cases in the state are being handled. Because one major thing that the law did was to make sure that even from the definition of rape, it was expanded. Before now, what our law says, or what is envisaged by the penal code, is that it is only the male gender that can rape the female gender. But with the coming of the BAP law, it has made us understand that the female too can rape the male gender. And the law says the law must call an offense before it punishes you. And so we are glad to say that we are not happy, even though that we have some female gender that rape the male gender. Some people will be hearing it for the first time, but it happens. And secondly, what the BAP law did also with the definition of rape is to say that it is no longer the sexual organ again. Because recently we had a case that someone said, I did not insert my organ, it was only my finger I used. That one, so the VAP law said it is rape. And the same punishment that will be meted on the person that has used the sexual organ is the same punishment that will be given to you, which the law now has established that it is life imprisonment, castration for the male perpetrator, and then removal of fallopian tube for the female perpetrator. And one other thing is that after your conviction, we are satisfied that you have been convicted of the offense of rape. We'll take your details to a public space with your picture. And most especially in your local government area, we'll go and paste it and say, so person from so clan with so grandfather is a rapist. I don't think anybody will want to hear that. And another thing again that I also want to commend our commissioner for doing was, before the VAP law, because of the way he was passionate about it, and the VAP law wasn't coming through, at the right time, there was a particular law that was supposed to be passed, which is supposed to be a law that handles procedures. But he made sure that issues of rape too was inserted in it, before we got the VAP law. And that provision said that, you cannot give bail to a perpetrator until the complainant or the survivor testifies in court. It has cured the defect of, having perpetrators around while the case is still ongoing and everybody, is aggrieved. That is the passion he has, to see that we punish perpetrators of such heinous acts. And some of the provisions of the VAP law that I think we also need to know is that even stalking is now a criminal offense in Gombe State. Indecent exposure, even though my brother here said it doesn't matter how you dress. Yes, in fact, we have a slogan that says there is no justification for rape. There is no justification for rape. But one of the offenses that was captured in the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law is indecent exposure. So the people that derive pleasure in dressing anyhow should take note of that. And so many offenses, were mentioned. There are some persons who fight as partners and then they try to destroy each other's properties, most especially phone, televisions, cars, and the rest. These are also criminalized in the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. And then we also have some of the offenses like abandonment. Some persons will abandon their families, and somebody will tell you that it is my house, and then he will send some persons away. You can't do that, except if your life is at risk. That is when you can, you don't even do that directly. You engage the law to help you, to take care of that. You can't just send somebody. We have cases where parents or a father, sends the wife out of the house and said it is his own house. And that is why he is doing that. And aside that, we also have some offenses like causing grievous hurts. We've had one time a case where a father locked up his female child in a room, chained, and it is quite unfortunate because when somebody hears this story, he will feel it is the stepmother. The mother of the female child is in the house. So it is not the stepmother that was encouraging the father. She was chained in the house. She eats there. She defecates there. She urinates there. In this Gombe, not outside Gombe. It's happening. So these are all offenses that the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law has captured, and then it says it is against the law. If you do that, you will spend a very, very long time, in Yongongida here. And Another thing again is incest. It is happening. You hear some fathers will tell you that she is my daughter. I slept with her. There is nothing you can do. She is my own daughter. It is now an offense against the state. And most of these offenses, they are not offenses that you say, okay, let's negotiate. No, it doesn't happen that way. So I think for want of time, we have a whole lot of offenses enshrined in the VAP law. So I will just stop here, and maybe when we have time, because one of the commitments from the Ministry of Justice, as I bring the goodwill of the Permanent Secretary, is to give you a commitment through collaboration and support in matters of capacity building, sensitization, and prosecution where it is necessary. So thank you so much.